Whenever you're ready.
Ready.
Giancarlo Esposito here for Revolution.
And have you known J.J.Abrams for a long time?
I have not.
You haven't?
I haven't known him for a long time. I only know him from auditioning for him.
Was that right?
Yeah, and when you audition for J.J.Abrams, you never sort of really... I met him once at an audition, early on in his career, and then after that, you were the only way you audition for him is to go in a room with a videotape camera and not get the material ahead of time, and you read for him and you hear whether you got it or not. Everything's very confidential, and you don't get a chance to take the script home with you. So this has been a crowning moment in my career to be on a J.J. Abrams show. Is pretty fantastic.
What should we know about Revolution?
You should know that it's a show that is a serious, grand-scale, epic adventure series that is character-driven. It's a show that deals with science. It deals with the environment. It deals with the what-ifs of our life. What if the power goes out? What if we don't have, are unable to rely on our electronic instruments anymore? What if we have to return to a point in our lifestyle where we have to listen to our instinct? What happens then? A world 15 years after the blackout, without power. What happens if we're not physically able to figure out how to survive? If we're just not physically up to the task to walk for miles, to find out if any of our family members are alive, to walk for months and months and months on foot across a rural America that's overgrown and difficult to navigate. It's a show that has a lot in the pot. A lot in the pot.
Have you ever seen the History Channel show Life After People?
Yeah.
No, I have not.
Because a lot of the scenes in Revolution look like they were lifted
Very reminiscent.
from, yeah, very much. What would happen if nothing were functioning anymore? I just was curious if you'd seen it.
No, I have not seen it. I know that our backdrop reminds me, and I think the writers as well, of Angkor Wat. They probably looked at pictures of Angkor Wat and other places in the world that had been overgrown, all of those wonderful shrines there that had been left to just decay. Tulum in Mexico, places like that where you enter into a world that once was, and you have to imagine what must it have been like.
It's just eerie when you see those places. Have you? How much have you read? How far down the line have you seen or shot on the show?
We are in our first episode, which will be ending in a few days. I've shot for about 5 days, so we're just getting our sea legs and finding out who our characters are. I certainly have an idea of what some of the relationships that will be investigated for my character are with other cast members, and you might be surprised at some of them. I'm excited, and my interest is really piqued at what they're writing. We'll get into all of the characters' backstory, and I think it'll be very surprising to see what you find.
What I liked most about what I saw was that this seems to me to be the most accessible Abrams has been in a long time. It wasn't terribly complicated or convoluted or anything. Does it stay like that, or do you know?
I believe it does. I believe they want to address the scientific aspect because there is power somewhere. We don't know who has it or how it's being held, but we do know that it's going to be held in balance, whether the good or the bad get that power. And so I think that is a wonderful exploration for our scientific community, because we've also brought in a physicist, like Eric Kripke, to his credit, the creator and producer as well, wanted to make sure that we were in line with what could be truthful. So I think it's going to really be very edifying for people who are geeks, who really want to know how that can be recaptured and rediscovered, and then couple that with young people who, for all intents and purposes, in our world of revolution, grew up 15 years after the power went out. I have a 16-year-old daughter who would have grown up during that time, and that to me is fascinating because those young people who are good at survival, our young lead, Charlie, is wonderful with a crossbow, and she knows how to survive and can probably find water in the forest where no one else could. All of these are skills. I remember when I was a boy, I read a book called How to Survive in the Woods, and it amazed me. It was written in the 50s. It's an old book, and it teaches you things like, you never think of, well, I thought of this yesterday in 100-degree heat on top of my steed, my trusty steed, in the middle of a cornfield I did one scene, and in a sunflower field, I did the other scene. You couldn't see for miles around me, and I'm not wearing